Hello everybody, hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Conor here, and yes, we're back. It's been a week. It's been a week of unanswered Leeds calls. It's been a week of activity at Leeds United. Before I went, it was rumours, it was nothing, it was Radrazani is this, Radrazani is that, but we're back. We have new owners. I did a video on that live in Split after a few drinky poos. But we're here now. We're talking about Leeds United under new ownership, new leadership, just a new direction, you would hope. And I didn't think that there would be any better place to start than doing a keep, sell, or loan style video. We spoke about this about a month ago, doing it on the channel. But on a hot English day, I thought I'd get into it, everybody. So I hope you're all doing fantastically well and get into a few of your comments. Is that the 49ers shirt, Conor? It is not, my friend. It is not. Very tanned, Conor. It was a hot week, my friend. It was a hot week. Katrina, sorry. Yeah, very, very hot week. Good evening, all. Hello. Feeling optimistic and excited for the season. There's loads of you commenting here. Bring back Marcelo. Wow, okay. Straight away, says Math. Connor's Rad, stop following you now. I don't know, mate. I'm not on Twitter at the minute, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I'll reactivate it at some point. Good evening all. Hello. Hi Conor, the clear out starts in 3 days. Would not keep many of these players. Yeah, agreed, mate. 100%. I think we're going to get into that. Oh God, smash a like, everybody. There's nearly 500 of you in the building. We're going to get into, as I say, the player ratings at this moment in time, who you want to keep, who you want to sell. I want this to be interactive. Get your comments in the section below and let's get going. Isaac says, hi Conor, Brownie once said if Bamford was a horse, he'd be put down. Bamford must go for me. I only hope we keep Somerville and Nonto. Wow. Paul says, hi Paul, hi pal, good holiday. Thought you was going in love. Don't know, Paul. You need to start typing again, my friend. Think we've all missed your videos, Conor. Oh, Craig, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. You don't know what you've... what is it? You don't know what you've loved until it's gone. There we go, Craig. That's what I can say about mine and your relationship. Let's get into it anyway, everybody. This is interactive, right? It's an interactive keep, loan, sell. Okay, I did this last season. Did it the season before. I've got notes on my phone. Do you guys think this is going to be harsh? From me, likely. Because it's me, and after the car crash of a season that Leeds United have, the staggeringly bad recruitment and the shocking performances from certain individuals, Conor's sell list is through the absolute goddamn roof. So listen, what I want you guys to take into consideration with this is I'm gonna do it from my point of view. You know, I'll put some sort of like maybe market value on it throughout the entire thing. But what I really want to do is get a little bit of a gauge from you guys what you're thinking. But I also just want to put out there exactly what I'm thinking. This is my opinion, okay? As well as obviously your guys' opinions. But yeah, don't take it too deep. Don't talk about contract remaining and all this sort of stuff. I'm literally just saying off the cuff who I think should leave Leeds United. That is it. And who should stay, of course. So if I miss any players out, let me know. I know you guys will do. I think I've got a pretty comprehensive list. I'm rarely going to touch on players like Lewis Bay and Cresswell and Yelder. I'm primarily going to focus on Leeds United's core players, and we're going to discuss exactly who should be leaving Leeds United. Keep Elder Costa. Cresswell has a bright future. Formula Sunny says, is this live or premiere? Well, I've just highlighted your comment, my friend, so what do you reckon? It is live, of course. A quicker video for those who are staying. So let's get into it. Okay. Let's start in goal, shall we? Elan Meslier. Get your comments in the section below. Meslier, for me, has had a tough one. Handling, not been great this year. Decision making, not been great this year. Resembling a hologram or a polo mint multiple times this year. Slightly disrespectful, Conor. I would agree. Slightly disrespectful. I think in some games he's kept us in it. But I think in a lot of games, he's lost us games as well. I think he's flapped a lot, and I think his shot stopping has actually come into question. And you guys might say, oh, he's 21, Conor, and this is why it's interactive. This is why it's all about different opinions. So yeah, you are right. Some of you may be right. 21 years of age. Does he need to go and work under a number one and Melee act as a number two for a bit? A top number one. That's essentially what we wanted at Leeds. It was never going to be a top number one, but someone who we could learn off. Now, he's made over 100 appearances for Leeds United. He's never had anyone apart from Kingo Casilla to learn off. So, learn from, I should say. So, I think it's been a tough one. I think the guy's got potential. Do I think there are better goalkeepers out there right now for Leeds United than Ilan Melee as number one? 100%. Do I think this is a fruitful environment for Ilan Melee at this moment in time? I do not. Do I even think with new ownership it is going to be a fruitful environment for Ilan Melee? I do not. And that is a lot of the theme I've got with certain individuals in this squad. Craig says Melee go sell him. Sam says, Sam, we could get more for him in 2 or 3 years. He got to go, bro, says Jared. A decent keepers coach might help. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Nige says, let's get Sam Johnson. Thought he was 20. He could be 23, to be fair, mate. I'm living in a bit of a blur. Melee, sell. Take no chances, sell. Interesting. George says, keep Melee. He's only been bad due to confidence. I don't blame him knowing he's faced 100 shots a game with that defence. But behind all that is a good goal. Absolutely no doubt there, George. What I would say is, if Ilan Melee is sticking around, he's going to be wanting to start for Leeds United. And has he been the same since Marcelo Bielsa? I don't think he has. I think he's really, really struggled. Would he be better with a continuum when it comes to a manager and a backroom staff and an ownership who actually know what they're doing? Of course he would. But I do think there is substantial holes in Ilan Melee's game that I still think will be exposed in the Championship. And I don't think even if he goes to any other Premier League side, I'm not 100%... Shoot me down for this. I'm not sure he's starting for the Premier League side that he's going to, unless it's, we're talking bottom 5 Premier League. Daniel Agar says, what non-league player would you bring in? Daniel, I promise you, mate, there's no disrespect from me, and I really appreciate your donation. I've not really looked on that, to be honest with you, mate, and I wouldn't want to disrespect you by just pulling out a random name. Set playing corners is awful. I can't disagree with that. Loan out stock will rise. Yeah, 100%. I think that's a fair point. Echo everything you say, Conor. Cheers, James. Sorry, pal. I meant Love Island. Yeah, Love Island, not for me, mate. Not for me. Don't watch that trash, he says. Sam Johnson's the way forward. And yeah, what's next? Leeds United says no Premier League side will make him their number one after 2 seasons that they had. I think that's a very valid comment. That's it at the minute. It seems to be there's a general consensus that people would sell Ilan Melee. When it comes to the valuation as well, I mean, it looks like Spurs are actually closing in on David Raya. Apparently Melee has been, Newcastle have been sniffing around Melee. There's 100%. The likes of probably PSG will be looking at him as well in terms of maybe a secondary goalkeeper that can learn off a starting keeper. I think Melee will have suitors this season, and I think when you look at Leeds United's prime assets, he's one of them. A lot of people have probably watched the 10 transfers that I would bring to Leeds United. I would heart you to go watch that video. It's got 24,000 views. I've tried to do a comprehensive breakdown of the players that I would be targeting. And Sam Johnson is one of those. I think he's absolutely tailor-made for Leeds United with whatever we do. I think he's good with his feet. I think he can play long. I think he's got very good handling. I think his decision-making is excellent. And I think he's a leader, which I think Leeds are going to need in the Championship. And he's played for West Brom in the Championship as well. England's number 3 at points as well. So, yeah, a lot of people saying 15 mil for Melee, 10 to 15, 100%. 100%. That is the valuation you're looking at for Ilan Melee when you look at his age, when you look at the fact that he's probably going to be on the cusp of the international stage very, very soon. So, yes, I think everybody is on the same landmark there when it comes to him. So Ilan Melee, sell. I think we're all going to go with sell there. And it's likely, isn't it? Good market value. Let's get it done. Robles. Consensus for Robles. I was a big champion of Robles, and I am a champion of Robles, and I would actually keep Robles as a second goalkeeper. I think if you've got Yoel Robles, Steve Brown's just said Robles is going to Everton. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but if I had my way, and I'm sure you guys potentially, if you had your way as well, you would keep Yoel Robles. I think as a second keeper. I think when he's come in, I think he's done okay. I think he's made some big saves at Man City when we were absolutely trash and should have got beat 10-1. I think he made some really key saves there. I think in the remaining 4 games, there was a lot made of Yoel Robles coming in for Ilan Melee. It was massive, 32 years of age, coming in for the number 1 goalkeeper. Oh my God, Leeds have dropped him. Bring him in. They brought him in, and I thought that's one of Sam's better moves when he came into this Leeds United side. Mele needed dropping. He came in, Roberts, and I thought he was okay. And as a second keeper, I think he's reliable. I think he is dependable when needed, especially, guys, we're not in the Premier League anymore. Do it again. We're not in the Premier League anymore. Conor's been to Croatia for a week, and I've forgotten all about football, and I've just realised we're still not in the Premier League. Anyway, don't send me down that spiral, guys. You know I've been down there all season. Trying to be positive, Conor, now. It's all fine. Nothing's happened. It's good. Championship winners. It's fine. He's not been crying all week, don't worry. But yeah, so I think healthy competition. I think someone who would really push that number one, i.e. Sam Johnstone. I think you got two solid keepers there. Evening, fella. Hiya, Matty. I hope you had a lovely holiday. Some potentials I'll be looking at will be Max Aarons and Zian Fleming in terms of Roberts. 100% I'd keep as healthy competition. Exactly what I've just said, Matty. Zian Fleming, yeah, very good season. Max Aarons, what a signing that would be. What a signing that would be. A lot of people think he's teared off a little bit. Obviously, you know, he had Barcelona after him, didn't he, about three-ish years ago. But yeah, there's no doubt he's a top player, and he would be decent in the Championship, and he has been decent in the Championship as well. Guys, I'm not gonna go on about Christopher Klaassen, to be honest with you. I think he will be surplus to requirements. I don't think anything's going to happen with him at Leeds. It's pointless, and this sounds awful, but you know, he's a Leeds United player, of course, but as I said at the start, I don't want to dedicate too much time to players who I don't think are going to feature whatsoever. There's no point. I want this to be a healthy debate. Yeah, James says, keep Roberts, make him number one if we don't get a top quality keeper such as Johnston. Yeah, as I say, guys, and I'm just finishing my point there. The beauty of this is we're going down to the Championship in a kind of bittersweet way. Those two caliber goalkeepers, Sam Johnston, pay him a wedge. Get him on a wedge so he comes down to the Championship. He's second goalkeeper to Crystal Palace to Gaeta. Bring him down. Let's see if he can be our number one. Then you've got him and Roberts. That's a top Championship pairing. Who knows? If the 49ers are coming in to make a statement, fantastic. Guys, before we get on to the defence, do us a favour. Before we get on to the defence and absolutely muller them, please make sure you're liking the video. Really appreciate it. This is my first stream back from holiday. I know you've missed me. Don't worry, I'm back now. Daily videos coming. I've got loads of ideas. There's going to be a video coming on the Patreon as well. Links in the description below. Generation Leeds is obviously coming very, very soon. So yeah, make sure you do that. James, is your name spelt with one N or two? It's one N, my friend. The Irish way, the proper way. Yeah, not two N's, mate. We don't spell it two N's in my family. Yeah, Jay's in the building. Evening, Conor. Hope you had a good breakaway. Hi, Jay. Member of the Patreon. Thanks, Jay. Okay, so let's get into the defensive line. What have I got here? So straight away, we've got a 50-50 split. Meslier, Sell, and I get from the general consensus in the chat, Robles keep. Rasmus Christensen. Conor, don't put a spin on this. Be objective. Let the fans choose whatever situation they want. So I will say, Rasmus Christensen. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section below. Rasmus Christensen is Leeds' Danish right back, who was bought for £10 million this season as probably a direct replacement for Luke Ayling. Do you guys think that's worked? And will it work in the Championship? Please let me know in the comment section below. Be professional. Keep played okay. Keep spicy, very spicy. Look at this. Keep champion. Okay. Look at this. Oh dear. Oh, interesting. Keep. We've got one. Rasmus Sell, prime example of never judging a book by its cover. We may all disagree here, shockingly. Service crew says, Conor's blood is boiling. It's just the tan, mate. It's the heat, to be honest. You can probably tell. Okay, this validation is going to have to be good. Okay. Rasmus Christensen, as I say, was brought in as a right back at Leeds United. It probably is going to be made a little bit clearer down the line why I think Leeds should get rid of Rasmus Christensen, and that might give me a little bit of validation. Don't hound me out, everybody. It's subjective. Football is all about opinions, of course, unless it's abusive, and I've mentioned that several times. Rasmus, for me, I don't really feel we had any system in the last 4 games. I think when he was going to centre back, I don't really think that's a general viewing of what he would be like in any season. I think he would still struggle at centre back. I think his turn of pace, I think his athleticism, I think his physical capability when it comes to heading, I think his judgment, I think his decision making is all poor. For me, I would sell Rasmus Christensen. I think his stock right now would be relatively high. Once again, when you look at the collective at Leeds United, the recruitment has been diabolical. The squad shaping has been horrific. So we are going to make a loss on someone like Rasmus Christensen. But for me right now, when I'm looking at the right-back situation, I think drama goes. And I think we would look... I think in a good squad, I think you need 2 top championship right backs battling it out. If you're going for promotion, I think you need 2 top to sort of very decent championship right backs. I don't think he's going to play centre back. I think we're going to hopefully sort out the centre back position. I think Rasmus Christensen doesn't have enough attributes to convince me just on the last 4 games, because he's thrown his head in front of balls and I don't know. I don't really know what he does, everyone. I'll be honest, I'm trying to give him a little bit of validation here. You know, he gives it the rah to the crowd, and I know Leeds fans like that. That's the passion merchant stuff. And that's not discrediting any of your opinions, by the way, because I think, you know, the majority is saying you keep, so, you know, what do I know, really? I don't think... I think I would want another right back to compete with another right back, if that makes sense, who I would probably keep hold of in the Championship. I really don't rate Rasmus at all. I never have done. I've been transparent on here. Seems like a lovely guy. Seems like he puts in a lot of effort. But I'm not giving you chances in the Championship because you put a lot of effort in for Leeds United. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of the effort game. You know, I want players who are quality, who are going to get Leeds up, who are going to get me off the edge of my seat. And I think we need a flying right back who is going to aid a possession-based system, who in the modern day, it's all about fullbacks nowadays. We know Luke Aylin's probably coming to the end of his career at Leeds United. You need, I think, a young right back to come in and really take the grip of that right back position and really consolidate himself. Rasmus Christensen's nowhere near that. He can't get forward. He can barely defend. Sorry, that's. I don't know if I've convinced you all there. You're probably thinking I'm speaking absolute rubbish. Rasmus scores goals. Fair enough. He only scored 1 less than Bamford. Is that the metric? Okay. Well, we'll put him up front then. We still conceded loads with him in the team. Conor, did you watch the French Open final? I didn't, mate. Albert Conor, he punches his chest. Dave, yes, it's kind of where I'm on with a lot of it, mate. He's awful. Fair enough, might play centre back, but we can do way better than him. I think that's where I am a little bit. I wouldn't be sad to see Rasmus go, sell to Sampdoria, do everything to keep Drame. Yeah, I do think Milk turns quicker than Rasmus. Guys, I think what we've got to do as well is keep it on point at the Championship, right? I know a lot of people seem to think the Championship is absolutely crap all of a sudden. We never used to think that when we were there. We always used to think it was a competitive division. Never forget that. You know, the Championship's going to improve next season. You know, the poorer teams are going to get better. The teams coming up look good, look very good. And we know when League One teams come up to the Championship, they normally do well. A la Sunderland last year, there's normally one of them. That could be Ipswich, could be Plymouth. It's going to be a good division next year. It's going to be a good division. And I think you need to really thicken out the squad. I still think Rasmus Christensen... Bookmark this. I still think Rasmus Christensen, like a fair few Leeds players, don't just go down to the Championship and suddenly become world beaters. Look, I know that there's definitely a quality drop, but I don't see it for me. I don't see where the attributes aid him in the Championship. And I think that's where I'm at, John. Raise the standards. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. Cover at centre back for Cresswell. Can't get forward for real. Ben, throughout the entire season, are we seeing him as an agile, athletic, fantastic ball-playing right back? I understand we're in the Championship right now, but some of the names that have played in the Championship, you know, over the past couple of years, really have done the job there. I'm not saying they'd be great right now, but you know, you look at Jed Spence, you look at Max Aarons, as was mentioned earlier on. You look at what Luke Ayling was doing in the Championship. How absolutely he was a winger. He was a third, fourth winger, wasn't he, on the pitch from Marcelo Bielsa's outfit? You know, Rasmus just isn't that. He doesn't have the attributes to be able to facilitate what you would need, in my opinion, for a possession-based, full attacking system. And I think that's what we're going to go for. He has the heart of a lion, but the football ability... Comment in the video, Frank. Well done, mate. Well done. Well done. Okay, let's move on. And I keep seeing centre-back. He's not centre-back, right? Guys, he's not going to be playing centre-back. He's going to be seen as a right-back next year for me. Okay, next one in line. We're looking at Robin. We're looking at Robin Koch. Rumours of him going to Spurs. Rumours of him going to Newcastle somehow. I was always a massive... So, by the way, we're going for Rasmus. I'm going for sell. You guys are going for keep there. So, Robin, I would go for a hard sell. Another sell here. Let's not forget Rasmus, Koch, Strout, all of them on this list. Firpo, Ayling, Verba, they've all been at fault for how horrific, guys. Please, let's not forget. Let's not be short-sighted in how horrific the defense has been. How horrific the defense has been this season. Look at the Lucas Moura goal for Tottenham at the end of it. That just summed up our season. And let's not have a little bit of affinity with this back line. Let's look logistically and think, does it need to be a little bit of a churn right now? Do Leeds need to go to something new? Do we need a little bit of a revolution at Leeds United when it comes to the defence? I personally think so. You build from the back. I've said it all the time on this channel. You build from the back. You know, the goalkeeper, in my opinion, is the most important position. A strong back line, a strong spine gets you promoted. You know, you develop on that in the Premier League. That consolidates you. Strong spine, but you build from the back. Leeds haven't done that. We've built from the front, hence where we are. We are where we are. Koch for me, sell. I don't think he's developed enough this season. I think there's been spells where I've thought, oh, okay, you know, and you guys know I've always championed, well, even under Bielsa, I championed a Koch and a Strout back two. Never worked. They've gone off completely. The managerial churn won't have helped that. But I think we need something fresh. Robin, I'm not sure what's to stay as well from the rumours that we've heard. Sell for me. Koch has been the one mainstay of the last few years in defence. Hard sell. Hard sell. Keep Koch out. Koch out. We built from the wings. Conor Richard we did under Marcelo Bielsa, but that's a very, very... It's a very... I think when you look at it, is a little bit narrow-sighted when you look at the championship job, because we were unbelievable at the back in the championship, and for me that was down to one man in Ben White, who, let's not forget, was absolutely insane for Leeds United and brought the level of that back line up so much. For me, Ben White was just a Rolls Royce for centre back for Leeds. We can never, miss his impact at the club, and I think him playing for Leeds United really, enabled Leeds United to build forward and rely on the defence a little bit more. I thought Ben White was superb for Leeds. Let's never forget him in that promotion season for Bielsa. And we've never evolved from him. Robin was supposed to be the evolution of Ben White. It's never really worked for me. Never really worked. I like Koch, fair enough. My God, guys, it's always the same jokes. Okay, so we're going to go sell Robin Koch. Diego Llorente, I've gone sell again. So Conor so far has kept one, the second keeper. Diego Llorente, you guys will tell me that he's been in Europe. You guys will tell me that he's been in a European final. I don't care. I think Diego Llorente, and this is the thing, when they're away from Leeds, they suddenly gain attributes. And we've said this on the debrief for years. When they're out of sight, out of mind, suddenly you'll get Dan James, you'll get Helder Costa, you'll get you'll get the likes of Diego Llorente getting attribute upon attribute upon attribute. It doesn't matter, guys. David May was in the Manchester United squad for the final and had minutes. It doesn't mean he's any good. Doesn't mean he was decent. Is Calvin Phillips up to the standard of the Man City squad? Probably not. But he was holding the Champions League trophy, the FA trophy, FA Cup trophy, and the Premier League trophy. I think just because a player is part of a squad when they get far doesn't mean they were an important member of that squad to get far. I think Diego Llorente is one of the worst centre-backs I've ever seen at Leeds United. And I will not forget that. I will not forget how rash he was on the ball, how he used to get bullied in the air consistently. Imagine him going away at Millwall next year. Imagine him going away to Coventry, away to Borough. The panic that Diego Llorente used to instill in that back line was absolutely... it was apparent. It was absolutely obvious, and everyone could see it. Jamie Carragher commented on it. Rio Ferdinand commented on it. Everybody commented on Diego Llorente. We used to call him the bomb scare on the channel. And I just think the short memories when it comes to it, to be honest. I thought Llorente was awful. So as you can tell, I've gone for a sell. I'll never forget the Brentford goal. Not just the Brentford goal, mate. It was about 3 of them that were his fault. This is probably the most logistical comment I've seen so far. Llorente's stock right now is the highest it's ever been. They're not going to Roma are never going to pay 18 million euros for him, obviously, because they've probably seen a lot of him and they've come back apparently and said that they're not paying that sort of money. They might go for a reduced value. They're not paying 18 million. If Leeds can get 10 to 15 million for Diego Llorente, I'll run down Manchester Road naked if we can. Shouldn't have said that, but yeah, I'll do that. Is that like that's probably a poor thing to say. You know, if I'd have said like 25 million, maybe we can go with that because that's unlikely. But 10 to 15, 10 could happen with installments. Bad comment to make there. Give Roma 10 mil. Give Charlie Cresswell some game time. That's another comment. I mean, it's Charlie Cresswell, someone who's just had experience in the Championship this season and went through a real down period, by the way, after he burst on the scene like Micah Richards. He went through a real downward period where Rout was keeping him out of the side, but then he revitalised and got himself back up there. I think he had something like 25 or 28 appearances in the Championship. You guys will have to let me know, but he did really, really well. Over Diego Llorente as a centre-back any day of the week. We were calling for that in the Premier League. You know, let's not forget that. So yeah, Diego, you know, Richard, exactly, mate, exactly. Clip it up. Oh God. We've got a lot of clip its here. Thank God I'm off Twitter. There we go. You can't get me. Mr. Hilyox says all those who want to leave should definitely go. These losers put us here with performances regularly than we the weaklings. I agree, and I think. In that respect, I think he was weak-minded as well, to be honest. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm sure he's a really, really nice guy, Diego Llorente, and we all know that. He seemed like a really nice guy off the pitch, always trying to learn English, you know, always trying his best, but he was weak. And this is the problem, everybody. The main focus of the video, the weak people need to leave. If we want to get straight back up, we want to be in the top 6, you cannot have weak-minded individuals. After the Palace game, when they folded... Let's not forget this. Again, 1-0 up, cruising, Palace scored, folded, and then they were relegated from that moment onwards. No, not in the Championship, because we're going to be closer to the bottom than the top. So, and I know Llorente wasn't part of that. Of course I do. Of course, I'm talking about a general sort of plethora of player that needs to leave Leeds United, and Diego Llorente, not for this season but for a previous season, is one of them for me. So far let's reflect on the ones that I've got Mele sell, Robles keep, Rasmus sell, Cox sell, Llorente sell. The next one is do you know what? I'm flying back today. I'm flying back into Manchester, and I could not believe what I wrote for this one. I could not believe what I wrote. Liam Cooper. Liam Cooper. Okay, hard sell here, Con. Right. I don't think you can get rid of, and when I'm looking at my list, I'm getting rid of a lot of people here. I don't think you can get rid of absolutely every bit of Championship promotion material that you had. I don't think you can do that. Would you take Liam Cooper in the Championship if Leeds were to get 2 new centre-backs, keep Charlie Cresswell, and then obviously keep him? You know? I think I would. I think in that promotion season, I think Ben White learnt a lot from Liam Cooper, and I think they complemented each other quite well when Cooper was fit. Cooper's not going to play, but it's that experience. Remember when we lost Pablo? Remember when we lost Berardi? Very, very quickly, and we lost a lot of the changing room quickly. I think that affected the players a little bit. I'd probably keep hold of... No, I would. I'd keep hold of Liam Cooper, as long as he's not playing. As long as he's not playing, that is fine. That's fine. Come in for the odd cup competition and he's mentoring. Going into almost a coaching role later on. That's fine by me. Jay says, Cooper, keep. He doesn't play all in the league next season. Be good in the background, but he's a fringe player. Yes, Conor says, Dave, yes, definitely keep Cooper for the dressing room. Like I say, everyone, when we lost Alioski, when we lost Berardi, when we lost Pablo, it felt like a lot. I never thought those players, and this is where it's going to sound quite contradictory, but I never thought those, I never thought Alioski was of the utmost quality. You guys know that. Berardi certainly wasn't for me. But the experience we lost was massive. It was a big, big chunk of promotion experience, And I think you can't get rid of all that. There is certain individuals in this squad who I'm fine if they're not playing. But if they're in leadership roles, behind the scenes, I think that's okay. I do. I think that's the context. Anyway, that's the context. Don't all just say, no, F Cooper, get rid of him. He's not good enough. Contextualize what I'm saying. I'll put into context what I'm saying. Keep Cooper, but leave him on the bench. You keep him if we keep all these young players. We'll need some sort of guidance. Liam Cooper, keep been there, done it, knows the club, needs some continuity. So keep for one season, but not necessarily starter. Yes, keep around the club. Keep Terry Cooper. Definitely left back in the change room. Yes, definitely keep Cooper. So I think there's a lot of people who are sort of... yeah, Jamie, fifth choice for me. It could even be 3 new centre-backs. Keep Charlie Cresswell. Or, we'll get on to the next one. The next one in a little bit, who could also be, moulded as a centre-back as well. Keep, but not as captain. Can't afford to keep passengers. True, Max. I don't think we're going to go out and get an entire new defence. Would I do that? Yeah, of course I would. But as I keep saying... you do have to keep some of the championship winning side, I think. I do think that. I do. Because in those gritty games, they understand how to get through it. I do think it is important. So that was an interesting one. So, yeah, I'd keep hold of Coops. Pascal Strout, sell. I love him. You guys know that I love him. I think ability-wise, ceiling-wise, as I always go on about with Jack Harrison, ceiling-wise, he's... the best player at Leeds in terms of his centre-back capacity. He's not been helped by getting dicked around constantly. Defensive midfield, left back, right centre-back. The guy has barely played left centre-back for a continuation at all at Leeds United, which I think is criminal for his development. I think the Bielsa sacking hurt him as much as anybody else in this side when it came to... passing out from the back, really learning his role. I thought he was mastering it under Bielsa for a spell. I think obviously towards the end he teared off, but as did every other Leeds player at the back end of the Bielsa era. But I thought he was really, really coming into his own. And since then, it's been awful. It's really, really, really been awful for Pascal. And he's a massive, 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 massive shame for me because I think that's a huge failing of the club. To not get the best out of this player. And I think if he goes somewhere else, I think it will work for him. I do. I really do. But I don't think this is going to turn around for him at Leeds United. I really don't. I don't think it's going to turn around. And if you're asking me right now, is he strong enough mentally? Is he a leader? Because we don't just need one leader. We need a multifaceted group of leaders in this side. Is he a leader? Is he strong mentally enough? No. So for me, Pascal goes. Loan, keep Pascal, he's been pissed about. Ari Strout, his development, we've badly let him down. Loan, sell, he needs a new start. That's where I'm at, Ian. I love him. And I will always have a bit of an affiliation for him. Has he been good enough this season? No. Is there an argument he was good enough last season? No. But I also don't think there's any chance of him going. I think his development's too far on at Leeds for him to have a loan, Isaac says, Pascal, it's clear that he's lost his confidence and regressed as a player, but he's still young, only 23, and needs a stable partner besides him in the centre of defence, preferably Cresswell. Keep Pascal. Fair enough, Isaac. Fair enough, my friend. Thanks for your donation. Romano's just posted about Melier. Let me know in the comment section below what he said. Let's have a gander. But we are going on a hard sell. I'm going on a hard sell for Rasmus. Not hard sell, a soft sell. Dun, dun. Never miss a beat, everyone. Romano, let's have a look, see what he's saying. Melier, officially, this is what Elan's just said. Officially, I still belong to LUFC. I will have to think about what could be the best project. Chelsea, this is what he said, if it is to go and be on the bench, I'm not interested in that. If it's to be the number one, of course, you can't say I'm not interested in Chelsea. Hurts a bit, doesn't it? But yeah, to be expected. To be expected. Yeah, to be expected. I'm not going to get upset about that one. I think he's spot on, to be honest with you. The fact that he's under contract at Leeds and he's talking about Chelsea hurts a little bit, but it is what it is. I understand that, but him talking about a specific club, I don't know. Let's move on. Yelder. Keep. Good season for Rotherham. Yeah, really good season for Rotherham. This is the level now, guys. We're not talking about Spurs and Chelsea and Newcastle and co. We're talking Rotherham, Plymouth, Coventry and co. So yeah, Yelder had a really decent season. I've spoken to some people who follow Rotherham. Some of my mates follow Rotherham. They've been really, really impressed with him. Confirming as a left back, confirming as a centre back. I would keep Yelder. If we need to loan him out again, absolutely fine. To maybe, but then again, if we're in the Championship, then keep hold of him. Keep hold of him. But a lot of really good reports on him. Really good reports on him. Keep Yelder, keep him play regularly. Yeah, keep start, keep on the bench. I think that's a general consensus. Everybody, let's keep hold of him. Charlie Cresswell, same bracket for me. Really good stint in the Championship. Went through a little bit of adversity. Came back. Keep all day long. Keep for me. I like Charlie. I've always liked Charlie. And when we were in the Premier League last season, when he came in for that game against West Ham, I thought it was one of the standout centre-back performances Leeds had that season. It was really, really unlucky to let Antonio get away from him right at the end. That was when Antonio was on fire as well, and it was his full league debut. Charlie Cresswell, for me, it might not be at Leeds, but at some club he's going to be a future captain. Still in the England setup, still an absolute, pillar in that England setup as well. I think we've been met. If we can get a really, really good valuation for him, if you're talking 15, 20 million for Charlie Cresswell, you've obviously got to get rid of him. But if you're looking at centre backs who can come in the Championship, got a little bit of experience there now, which is where maybe Leeds' loans actually have worked for Yelder and Cresswell. You get 100% keep him. Keep Charlie. Cresswell, I'm hoping progresses to be one of our captains these days. 2-year loan. Cresswell, keep. Cresswell, a great leader. Should have never loaned him out. Cresswell, future Leeds captain. Yep. So that's a general rule. I think everybody, we're putting the rule down. The gauntlet down is to keep Charlie Cresswell. So we've got, for me, so far we've got keep Cresswell, keep Yelder, Strauch sell, keep Coops, Llorente sell, Cox sell, Rasmus sell, Melier sell, Robles keep. So that's the ratio at this moment in time. Now Stuart Dallas, another one. Take the sentiment off, guys. Take the sentiment off. I know you guys think I'm going to go one way, but I'm not. I actually think Stuart Dallas, similar to Cooper, should stick around. I don't think he's ever going to be the player he is again, just because I've played football for a while and I know people who've had the injury that Stuart Dallas has had. And listen, he's not had my mates haven't had the sports science that Stuart Dallas has had, but I would be stunned if he came back the same player. And we've not really seen him outside that Bielsa way, have we yet, where he was just absolutely everywhere and brilliant for Leeds. But I think you've got to keep Stuart Dallas in the Championship, even when it once again comes to a mentoring role. You've got to keep a few of them, guys, for that experience. You have to. They've been there, they've done it. You've got to keep them. You've got to bring quality in, but you've got to keep a couple of Championship heads in there. People who just want an entire, sell 24 of them, sell 20. It's never going to happen. And I know we said it's what we want, but we've got to be realistic about it as well. I don't think they could get rid of Stuart Dallas. I don't think they should get rid of Stuart Dallas either. Keep Dallas. When Dallas went out, I feared for our goal source. He was reliable in front of goal. And guys, he's not going to play much, and that's what we've got to bear in mind. But on the video previously, I've spoken about individuals who would be playing in maybe that number 8 role. Gustavo Hamer, who's got 11 goals last season, 8 assists. Listen, this is what we're looking at right now, everybody. We need to be looking at the cream of the crop. We're not sentiment FC. We're not weak mentality FC. And I'm not attributing all of that to Stuart Dallas. Of course I'm not. But we can't be thinking that this is going to be the same Stuart Dallas pre-injury. We can't be thinking this is the same Stuart Dallas that scored away at Man City and scored 8 goals that season and was fantastic. It's not going to be the same Stuart Dallas. And I think he would admit that as well. So for me, if Dallas is in the background, whatever, he's on the bench, he's a bit of a mentor to the Leeds players, that's fine by me, but nowhere near a starter. And yeah, I'd be happy with Stewart around the place. Been looking forward to this. Yeah, cheers, mate. Good backup. Sell, he's not going to be consistent. I don't think there's a lot. He was poor last season. Yeah, he was poor. Hasn't played in years. Don't know what I think about Sfarke as manager. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about here. Dallas for final 30 minutes in game with calming presence. Yeah, potentially. I don't really think massively as well. His ability was unbelievable. I think he was just one of... I mean, we saw that for the first 3 years. He was at Leeds prior Marcelo, but Marcelo just made him into an absolute beast, didn't he? But I'm not 100% sure that happens again. And I think that's the thing, everybody. Bear in mind, this isn't going to be the Bielsa side if we keep hold of the boys. You know, the boys in the band from the Bielsa season. You keep hold of a little sprinkle of experience, but the boys in the band aren't going to hit those Bielsa levels that we hit when we came up from the Championship. That was a completely different side. They were younger, a lot younger, probably different mentally as well, a little bit, you know, free for all, let's just go for it. Free-spirited when it came to just going for the Championship. You know, never really been there before. Bielsa at the helm, they all trusted him. They all did everything implicitly, what Bielsa said. And it's a very, very different situation right now. Very, very different situation. So, yeah. Okay, so Junior Firpo, sell. I mean, he's going anyway, isn't he? I think he's off to Real Betis, I saw today. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. Zoe says, why are you not on Twitter anymore? I miss your notifications. Yeah, I'll be back on it, Zoe. Don't you worry. Zoe, it can just be... I've said this before. I don't want to dwell on it too much. It's very, very weird. And there's a weird, like, fraction of Leeds fans. It's not just other fans that you've seen. Trust me, it's Leeds fans who don't like other opinions. And it's very, very... It's poisonous. It's a poisonous... Honestly, you take a break off Twitter, you're so much happier. So, yeah, I'll go back on there at some point. You never let the trolls win. But yeah, at the minute, I mean, it's nice. It's nice being off Twitter. It really is. But yeah, I'll be back on there one day. Don't you worry, Zoe. Yeah, third pass to go. We don't need to dwell on him. He's going. Luke Ayling. Oh, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. I've always said on this channel, I've not always said it, but I don't think he's good enough to be starting, and I'll stick with that. I think he's broke down completely once again at the back end of the Bielsa era, and I think he's another one massively affected by the transition. I'd keep him. Some of you might go mental at that. I'm seeing a lot of sells. I'm with Ken. Back up again to a young, hungry, quality right back. And then I do trust Ayling to come in. I do trust him to come in. If our right back, who we've chosen, who is going to be in the Championship team of the season, of course, if the right back is efficient, you know, if he's good, but if he's out on on however many games, let's say hypothetically misses 5 to 8 games a season, I trust Ayling to come in the Championship for that. We're not Premier League now. Remember, we're not Premier League, of course, but I trust him to come in for those games as a backup. And you know, it means that Leeds don't have to, you know. I know we'd all love two right backs, two top right backs, and I mentioned that at the start. But when I was talking about Christensen at the start, listen, guys, there's a reason Luke Ayling starts above Christensen at right back. It's because every manager that's come in knows Luke Ayling's better than Christensen. Christensen goes for me. Get rid of him, and I'd be keeping Luke Ayling as a little bit of a backup. That's what I'd do. You guys might think I'm balmy. I'd keep him as a backup, a little bit of experience again. Keeping a little bit of a blend there. You look at what Burnley did last season. There's still a little bit of a blend. When you look at Brownhill, when you look at Jack Cork, when you look at Ashley Barnes, there's always got to be a blend. You can't just get rid of them all. So for me, keep him. And I think he'd be aided by a possession-based manager anyway. Not to start, but I think he'd be aided by a possession-based manager, you'd hope. So tragic that we spent 10 million on a right back worse than Luke Ayling. Yeah, what next? I mean, literally the recruitment's been the worst in the Premier League this season, which is embarrassing. League One operation behind the scenes, or was League One operation behind the scenes. Jobs for the boys behind the scenes. So yeah, listen, there's loads of people who are saying, yeah, Conor, you're balmy. Fair enough. I think we just got to look at the level that Luke Ayling would be playing at. Luke Ayling would be coming in as a backup right back in the Championship. How bad is Luke Ayling? Are we saying Luke Ayling is League One? Are we thinking he's you know, I don't know. I mean, I think as a backup, playing 5 to 8 games in the champ over a 46 game season, playing the cup games maybe. What? I don't know. For me, I think he'd be all right. They're not going to keep Jame, mate. They're not going to keep him. They won't keep him, Keith, because they've basically, excuse my French, they've fucked him around for too long. They loaned him out to Cardiff when he should have been in the squad. They loaned him out to Luton when he should have been in the squad. And now the power's in his hands because he's got Luton and he's got another Premier League club who I saw the other day. I can't remember who were looking at him. You know, it's Leeds in a nutshell. Leeds in a nutshell. SHIT show, and hopefully that's going to change now. Toxic. Bobs, come on, mate. Luke Ayling, toxic. Come on. Let's not make things up now, lad. Come on. They became disruptive. Where's this come from? Have I missed an article? Luke Ayling became disruptive. I don't think so. It's Burnley. Okay, Burnley. Conference player. Guys, come on. He's a conference player. Oh my God. I don't think he should be starting. I don't think he should be starting for Leeds in the Championship. And I think that's to go from starting in the Premier League to not starting in the Championship. That is a demotion for Luke Ayling. But to say he's toxic, get rid of him. He's disruptive. He's conference level. You were talking silly, aren't we? Okay. Luke Ayling is part of the downfall, though. Yeah, but Minerals, they all are. So do we sell the entire team? It's not going to happen, is it? Okay, let's move on to the next one. So I think a lot of you guys are saying sell. Maybe Ayling was a bit 50-50 there, but we'll go sell. I think a lot of you guys are calling me mental. I would keep him as backup, second string. Let's get on to Verba. Sell. A glorified Llorente. I thought at the start that he was half decent, but nah. Decision making not on it, not strong enough, slow on the turn. Left foot, he can't use his right. Nah, not for me. I'd get rid of him. I think I'd get rid of him, and I reckon you'd actually get some decent money for him. I reckon you get some decent money for him. I don't think he's that good, and I think we can get better. And if we're looking at 3 centre back spots being made available, I think there are some. I think there are quality centre backs that you can get in. I mentioned Omobamidele, the Norwich centre back, who is flying at the minute. You got Ben Cabango at Swansea. Great season. Players like this who are up and coming, and they're leaders. They're born leaders on the pitch. Verba, he's a leader. No, he's not. I'm not having it. Adams I get as a leader. Completely get. Verba, no chance. I'm not having it. So I'd be looking at 3 new centre-backs, and I'd be looking at keeping Cresswell. Yelder is sort of a bit of a hybrid. And Verba needs to be in the first team. Needs to be the first team on the first name on the team sheet. Wow. He's the only one trying to defend and cover the whole back line. I think I've just read that one out. Got to understand the league he came from. Can't go from Austria to EPL and adapt immediately. Championship is next level up from Austria. Oh, all you over here, I just think there's better out there. I think there's better players than Verba. And I think, as was mentioned previously, I think when the stock is high, it's not really high, but the stock is relatively high at the minute, I would look at getting rid of him. Guys, as well, I think when you look at our entire centre-back options and how horrific they have been, we look at Verba and think, oh, he's so good because he's come in and he's done wonders. He shouts. He's not. He doesn't shout. He doesn't lead for me at all. It's my opinion, obviously. Football's subjective. But I don't think on the ball he's been that great. I don't think off the ball he's been that great, to be quite honest with you. I don't really see many attributes from him. And maybe I didn't expect this one to be a hot topic, but okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'd get rid of him and I'd look at bringing in some real top competent centre-backs. And I think we can do that. Conor keeps saying the sells Verba. Now, but it's... God. Championship winning experience, okay, is why I'm keeping Luke Ayling in my side. And he never plays. Similar to Liam Cooper, he never plays. Verba would probably start week in, week out, and I think there are better centre-backs to start week in, week out for Leeds United than Max Verba, to be honest with you. Yeah. Ben Mee. Yeah, what a player. Vobra only looked good against Cardiff. Fair enough. Look. I get it. I understand it. I understand why people want to keep Ver because he's the best of a bad bunch. But we can get better than that bad bunch. Look at where we are now. It's a different era. And if his stock is high, we can sell on. I'm happy with that. Look at the system he's come from as well. It doesn't really facilitate a possession-based system. He was bought for one reason and one reason only. So for me, yeah, I'd look at getting someone a little bit better, in my opinion. But there we go. A lot of people will say they'd keep him, which is fine. That's football. Tyler Adams. Oh, how many people am I going to rattle here? No. Yeah, obviously you'd keep Adams. I've got a caveat though. Guys, don't get angry at this. I know Leeds fans love a tackle. Oh, sometimes a tackle's better than an assist and a goal for Leeds fans. I understand that. I don't think we'd have got a lot better this season if Tyler Adams was in the side. I think transitionally they still get pelted like we're pelted this season. Do I think maybe 1 or 2 goals less, 3 or 4 goals less would have been conceded with Adams in there? I do. I don't think he's very good when he's pressed on. And I don't think he's an amazing passer of the ball. So once again, it depends who comes in. If we're a possession-based system, listen, I've got a bit. When you look at the impacts that signings have had when they've come into Leeds United, Tyler Adams stays, and I'm saying right now I'd like Tyler Adams to stay. Of course I would. Well, I've been speaking about mentality and leadership and a captain. So Tyler Adams stays, obviously, keep him. But I think I will say, and I've wanted to say this for a while, I don't think there's any way we still remain in the Premier League if Tyler Adams is in this side. I still think we concede bucket loads. You can't just pinpoint Tyler Adams for stopping an entirely transitional thing, counter-attacking thing, which was happening on Leeds United continuously. We're still getting beaten with Tyler Adams in the side. There's one player, in my opinion, who if he'd have remained fit for the entire season, Leeds stay up. And I think that's literally just because Leeds score more goals than them. But yeah, I personally don't think I'd keep hold of him. Of course, I'd keep hold of him. But I think there is a lot of. Listen, I'm going to get absolutely hammered in the comment section below now because obviously he's a fan favourite. I really like Tyler Adams. I think he's fantastic. But I know people are going to blow my head off now because I've said that he wouldn't have saved us 20 goals this season, but I just don't think he would have done. I think Leeds had systematic problems, and Tyler Adams wasn't an avenger by himself. He couldn't have just kept Leeds and ball won everything by himself. It just wouldn't have happened, in my opinion. Over here, they are Adams suits Jesse's style of play. So this is what we're all looking at, Dan. Soccer 8-0, World 11-0. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Will, I'd keep him, but I just don't think he'd have stopped many goals. I think that there's one guy up front. There's one guy who, in my opinion, would have kept Leeds United up and would have contributed to so many goals. But I think I still think we get hit on massively on the transition, which Leeds were terrible at. Tyler Adams can't protect the entire back four by himself. It's just unrealistic. Love Adams, but can't see him staying with us. He wants top level football. Only American with quality, but he's always consistent out of position. We conceded when he wasn't in position. So far, we're keeping possession. We are keeping players that don't suit a possession-based system. Well, Steve, if Adams isn't one of those players. We said this at the start, and everybody knows this about Adams. He's not really. He's not our back. That's not. And there's no flack for him. He's what you call a breaker up of play. He's a ball winner. That's what he is. He's a ball winner. But let's not make any mistake around it. Tyler Adams will need a player next to him who plays the football. If we're playing a possession-based style, he'll need 2 players around him who can really move the ball forward and really, show those slalom passes and get Leeds up the pitch. 100%. Let's look at the Championship with Calvin Phillips. Yeah, Calvin Phillips was still able to break up play. He was that ball winner in front of the back four in that 4-1-4-1 system. But what would Calvin do when he gets the ball? Ping. Suited to a possession-based system. Adams is not suited to a possession-based system because that's not who he is. There's nothing wrong with that. But would I keep Tyler Adams pressed? Yes. But do I think there's a little bit too much clamour on Tyler Adams? We'd have stayed up with him. We'd have kept clean sheets in multiple games. No way, because it was a systematic failure. In my opinion. Yeah, he was, and that's Bielsa. That was Bielsa, but yeah, of course. Keep Adams, but we won't. And like I've said, everybody, leader, isn't it? Leader. So that's, let me just read out some people. There we go. I want to read some disagreements out. The holiday, Conor. The one didn't work. Yeah, there we go. Come on, let's have some people who disagree. There we go, Dexin. That's a joke, Conor. To be honest, Adam stopped so many counters and saved their asses so much. Even won the ball high up and started attacks. Needs a better, more attacking midfielder beside him if we could keep. I'm not saying that, Deck. I'm not saying that, mate. I think he facilitates a certain way of playing football, and that was under Jesse Marsh. He was one of the better players, wasn't he? I don't think in a possession-based style, which Leeds will go for. Let's say we get Corberan, Carlos Corberan, right? Look at how Corberan plays football. Brendan Rodgers wants his defensive midfielders to be able to pass the ball. Look at Ndidi, Mendy. That's what he wants them to do. I'm not saying Adams does not have that in his locker. Of course, I'm not. But I don't think it's as good as other players out there. To be honest with you, although I'd keep him. You guys are saying I'm not. I'm saying I'd keep him. I'm saying I'd keep him. I just think we needed to put that caveat in there. Rocker, my heart, Matt Rocker. I'm joking. I know it's going to wind all of you up. I'm joking. Sell him. Listen, me and Mark, we had a good relationship. I'm talking to you now, Mr. Rocker. What did you do to me, mate? I've come in front of all of my fans here and spoken to them about you, and you didn't deliver. You did not deliver, my friend. Now, listen, I thought his ceiling was high. I could never understand when you had Leeds fans saying, get Greenwood on in front of Rocker. I don't think, similar to Adams, he was aided by multiple changes of systems. The difference with the different players, him and Adams, of course they are, but Rocker suits multiple systems. I think in the modern game, when it comes to possession-based systems, which are the way forward. Look at any top coach; they play possession-based football, which we haven't done for 12 to 18 months. Rocker, I always thought the ceiling was there. I think he was hampered a lot by multiple goings on at Leeds United and midfielders next to him. But he's not been good enough. Not been good enough. Sell. Not being good enough. Listen, I'm not just going to come on here and be like, oh, Conor said this, I said this, I said that. I've said this about Rocker, his ability's so high. I do think his ability's high. I think he's going to go to Real Betis and be good. I do. He's going to be playing in Europe next year. How many more of our players are going to be playing in Europe next year? Probably not a lot. Although Firpo might be. So maybe that smashes my point up, but you get what I mean. But he's not been good enough. And do I think he'll stick around? I don't. So yeah, sell. Rocker is on my Leeds calendar this month. Oh, send me that calendar, Nick. I'm joking. Dan with the major updates. 1-0 World 11. Bye Rocker. Too slow. No stamina. Turn like a circle. The QE2 not suited to frantic Championship League. I can't disagree with that. Not good enough for the intensity of the Championship. Will do very well in Spain. Italy, though, never to be seen at Premier League level again. The Spanish Kevin Nichols. Oh, dear. Rocker was terrible. Rocker is shite. Rocker and Firpo can share the same plane. Yep, so I think we're all on the Rocker to be sold. Yeah, okay. So let's go on the next one. Bloody hell, we've still got a fair bit to go. For sure, sell. Sell for me. Yeah, I would definitely sell him. All you have here says can only be good in a league system where your skill set is at the league's pace. Rocker was never up to speed in the Premier League, and same would be in the Championship. Yeah, so for sure would go for me. Yeah, I just think when we're talking about backup, at least in a sense, you can say Cooper's been available. At least, in this, I know, and it's been tough for Dallas, but when he was playing, he was decent. I'm not saying Forshaw hasn't been decent, but how can he's just not reliable, is he? He's not dependable. Dallas had played a ridiculous amount of games for Leeds before he got injured. Forshaw's entire career at Leeds has just been in and out and in and out. And I know what we're saying about experience and heads, but it doesn't mean we keep all of them. It's just a select few. And I don't think, I'm not 100% sure, and obviously as Gareth says, his contract is gone as well. JB and Archie moved up in the pecking order. It's another thing you need to take into consideration. You know, these two are going to hopefully be decent next season. So yeah, sell for Forshaw for me. Guys, before we keep going as well, please like the video. There's over 1,300 of you in the building for the first stream back. Back from holiday, and I'd love it if you guys hit stream. We're going to be streaming. We're going to be doing videos every single day. If you want some Patreon content, hit the description below. McKennie gone. Nothing else to be said. Or I'll get more American US accounts coming at me and offering me out for fights and saying, you know, I don't know them, bro, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know where they're from. Clint Dempsey-esque. But yeah, we're going to get on to the next one in just a little bit. Jared, hi, Jared. Your thoughts on loaning some of the higher wage players versus outright selling them this summer? I spoke on that on my previous video, Jared, on the 10 signings that I would make. The higher wage players, but it depends really. It depends what those players are. If we're looking at Rodrigo, for example, I know Rodrigo is top 5. I know Bamford's top 5. You know. Rocker's way up there as well. I don't really know how many of those players, because if you're on a high wage at Leeds United, if you're on a high wage, it's because it's you're expected to be high performance as well. I don't think you ever get to that stage and then you are to be loaned out. You expect to be playing minutes. I mean, look at Meslier. Meslier has literally just come out and said he's not sitting on the bench at Chelsea. You know what I mean? So I don't think you can get to that stage in your career and be loaned out. I think that's got to happen when you're younger, to be honest. And that's the problem you're always going to face. McKennie has gone. Yeah, McKennie has gone indeed. Lewis Bate, I'd keep Lewis Bate, send him out on another loan. Dan James, sell. Right. Like Llorente, let's not rewrite history. Come on now. Come on. This isn't the Bielsa Dan James either, who, you know, in the Championship for Swansea, he was ripping it up, but then Dan James, I mean, he's not wanted by Fulham, they're not going to get him again. Dan James, guys, really? You know, this is a guy who couldn't kick the ball with the left foot. His decision-making was completely brain dead. I was all for him at the start, but he's not gained attributes when he's gone to Fulham. He scored a nice goal against Everton, that was it. Fulham fans did not rate him one iota, and I know that for a fact. I know I'm going to start reading the comments and it's Dan James in the Championship, but get him off the wage bill, guys. He's going to be on a massive wage as well. We signed him for 30 million. He's going to be on a massive wage. We got him from Man United. He's going to be on a very, very decent wage. Sell him on and we can get better than him. He's not good enough for me. He's never been good enough. You know, I'm not rewriting history here. I said the same things a year ago about Dan James as I'm saying now. Nothing's changed. Similar to Llorente. I think in the Championship, he's going to be completely budget. And yeah, I wouldn't keep hold of him at all. There's better out there. Dan James trips up the ball. Fulham fans give him so much grief as well. And it's like, we can't just keep him because, you know, he had a good 6 months at Swansea. Sell James, keep DJ. Sell James. Yeah, Andy said James speed off the bench later in the game. The thing is, Andy, he's really, really quick, but he doesn't do anything with it. And we saw that when he was at Leeds. He was great for Swansea in that period. But since then he's gone. But yeah, not for me. Not for me. Dan James started down a gym membership. There's no way we keep hold of him. And it's not going to be a great mentality, is it? Him coming back to Leeds. I'm not saying he's toxic, but he's been left out. He was annoyed when he was loaned out to Fulham. I don't think he's going to coming back to the Championship and be best pleased. He's going to be looking for a Premier League move as well, as is Elder Costa. I've got Elder Costa down on here and I can't be arsed speaking about Elder Costa. Interesting one. Yeah, Nick, yeah, so did Hal Robson-Kanu, mate. And he spent his entire career at Reading. You know, let's not compare. It doesn't say it all, does it? Because there's no context there. But his little face. This is it. Come on, let's get that sentiment and throw it out the window. Expectations higher, everyone. Let's go get a better player than Dan James. Joe Gelhardt. Let's have a look on what you guys are saying. I've got Gelhardt as keep. I'd keep Joe. I like Joffy. Aronson and Rutter were brought in Did any of those two have a better impact than what Joffrey did towards the back end of last season? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Joffrey, I thought, for around about 8 games towards the back end of last season, I know it's not been great for him at Sunderland. I don't think the environment was that great for him. I think he was bought to partner Ross Stewart. And then Ross Stewart got injured as soon as Gelhardt got there. And I don't think that was great on his development. Joe Gelhardt, for me, as an impact sub, and I don't know if he's going to be happy with that, but that is just the way it is. And him starting sometimes, potentially. I think Gelhardt will do more than Brendan Aronson in the Championship by a country mile. I think he's set up for it. I know it's, as I say, I know it's not been great for him at Sunderland, but I think he's got to have the right environment. I think he's got a lot of good attributes there. I think I said that I'd sell him not long ago, but after having thought about it, I think I'd keep him. Smoking Joe links well with Somerville. Both got nice feet. Keep bench. Get Joffrey and Rutter competing for an inside forward role. Sell Joffrey. Don't think he'll ever be it. And Joe, I was kind of at this bit, mate. I was kind of at that bit. Still don't know, but I would keep him. I'd keep him. I'd just see where he's at. Keep Joffrey loan again. Keep maybe loan. Yeah. So I think everyone's in the the ballpark of keeping him, which is good. That's good news. Somerville keep. Yeah. I think once again this is another one who's slightly overrated by the fan base. It's my opinion. I'm still not 100% convinced. I think his defensive work is great. I think he trips over himself a little bit. I think his acceleration's great. Will that work in the Championship? I don't know. There's no way he'd sell him at all. No way he'd sell him. But I don't know if he's going to light up the Championship. I don't know if he is. I think we know what the Championship's all about, and I think he might get a bit of a tough lesson there in some games. But hopefully it'll be the making of him, and I'd keep Somerville. A lot of you guys saying the same thing. Rodrigo, sell. Nah, obviously, listen, he's going, isn't he? I mean, I think the guy's on about 85 grand a week, and I think there are a lot of clubs interested in him. So that's why I put sell down, because I think he just will ultimately go, and there's no point in talking about keeping him. There's no point. So yeah, did I ever think we got the return for the amount of money that we spent on him, being Leeds' record signing at the time? Still no. Will he ever be a number 9? No. I'm never going to be convinced he's a number 9 in any system. He's not for me. Yeah, for me, sell. I think his wages are going to just be too high for the Championship, and Leeds will know that. And listen, I know there's a lot of people saying 50, 60% Championship wage reduction. I don't think Rodrigo will take that. I don't think he's going to be going from 85 grand to 40 grand a week, 35, 40 grand a week. He's just not going to do it. So I don't think it's realistic. I think apparently you've got 4 or 5 clubs looking at him in Spain. Villa are keeping an eye on him. Obviously, Emery used to work with him. Apparently, I saw Real Madrid are looking at him as well today. So whether or not they're all real, who knows? It is rumours, of course, but I don't think Rodrigo's going to be at Leeds. I don't think we'll have a choice, to be honest. So yeah, and I think when we're looking at the wage structure, is he going to be one of those players who was involved in that 50 to 60% wage decrease? I don't know. Rutter, I'd keep hold of him. Hopefully a season in the Championship's going to be decent for him. That's what I'm hoping. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Yeah, exactly. 100 grand to 40 grand or whatever. It's just never going to happen, is it? So yeah, I'd keep Rutter. I don't know what you guys think on that one. Keep Rutter. Keep Rutter. Keep. Hopefully it's going to come good for him. I've never gone against Rutter. I feel so sorry for him. He was brought in as the £35 million signing by that absolute Durbrain, Tom and Jerry at the top of the club, when we should have just gone and got Yukoresh, who keeps Leeds up. Facts. Keeps Leeds up. But Tom and Jerry didn't do that, and Tom and Jerry decided to make a punt on another glamorous signing, who I feel so sorry for him. 19 years of age, he's pretty much come out and said that he's found the transition really difficult in the Premier League. There's a shock. He said it at the time on the debrief, and this isn't an I told you so stuff. We're all very excited, of course. Anyone's highlight reel is unbelievable when you put it on YouTube. But he's a child. He was saying on the debrief, is he going to go into the development squad? None of us knew. 35 million And there's people slagging him off. It's like, look at the bigger picture. This absolute doylen in Victor Orta who brought him in, facilitated by the Joker at the top. You know, absolute car crash of a signing. But I'm hoping that his development... Well, Leeds, listen, it has to work for Leeds, doesn't it? With all that money. And there'll be instalments. Best believe there'll be instalments. That's why when everyone's going on about parachute payments and all this money that's going to be siphoned into Leeds United, there is still... I can tell you this for a fact. There are massive instalments still at Leeds United. I can tell you that for a fact. Massive instalments, even from 2 years ago from our signings. We're still paying Dan James off. You know, so you best believe we're going to be paying Rutter off for a while as well. So Leeds need this to work, you know. So yeah, just an absolute joke how he was brought in and how he was marketed. And yeah, I feel sorry for the kid, and I want him to, you know, at least claw back some of that price tag. Although he never will do, because it's just such a ridiculous price tag for you know, for anyone at our level, even when we're in the Premier League. And yeah. Yeah. Did the 49ers not bring in Rutter? Well, who knows? But there's a man who's the majority shareholder who ticks that box. You know, he's the final say. He's 56%. So yeah, James James isn't tearing anything up. No, he's not. He couldn't tear some tissue up. Not for me anyway. Okay, right. Next one for me. We're gonna go on, everyone. Never scores for us. Big chances missed for us. But we play better with him. Does he stay for us? Patrick Bamford, does he stay for us? What do you reckon? Keep or sell? Patrick Bamford. 13 big chances missed in the Premier League. A large, massive of chances missed in the Championship. Pablo Hernandez created 122 chances that season, and Patrick Bamford only scored 16 goals. Am I stirring the pot a little bit there? Listen, he had a fantastic first season, didn't he? Unbelievable first season in the Premier League. He was fantastic. Caveat, no crowds there. A lot of psychology with Patrick Bamford. I think we all know this. Let's look at one side of the coin. Patrick Bamford needs help. Yes, absolutely. Does Patrick Bamford make us better when he's on the pitch? Yes. As a squad, as a side, sorry. Absolutely. But when Patrick Bamford has had the chances, when Patrick Bamford has had these big moments to keep Leeds up, the opportunities to keep Leeds in the Premier League, big opportunities anyway, even in that season in the Championship, is he good enough? Even with help? Well, you're going to be surprised. As a second striker, I'd keep him. Hypocrite of the century. But yeah, I'd probably keep as a second striker, but I can be swayed. Do you want to sway me? Who wants to sway me? Listen, I think he's been a really good servant to Leeds, and I'm really in the middle. I don't know. I've got on here as a second striker. I think he'd be decent if Leeds went out and bought Chubrakpom. If Leeds went out and bought Cameron Archer. If Leeds went out and bought Yokoresh. If Leeds went and bought Joel Perreault. But why don't we get two of them and get Patrick Bamford's wages off the bill? Exactly the same with Rodrigo. Why don't we just go out and buy two top Championship strikers? Is that how it works? Well, yeah, I think it is. You see teams coming down and doing that all the time. Even if we go and get a lone striker, who we mentioned. Listen, these 10 players that I went on about was signing on the previous video, you'll see there's some loan signings on there that are strikers. Get a loan signing, a top lone striker, and then bring in a top Championship operator. But then maybe if you had 3 strikers and Pat Bamford's there, then you're happy with that, aren't you? So then you can, yeah, exactly, Smiler. You're not relying on Pat's fitness there, though. You know, you've got a loan signing as a striker. I mentioned Carlos Borges at City, who's absolutely tearing it up, and then a Cameron Archer, and then a Patrick Bamford. You got 3 there. You know, that I like that. It's a nice balance. Or would you go and get an entire? Because if you're selling Rodrigo, you're selling Bamford, you're literally just going to have to... I mean, you can't just rely on Rutter and Gelhardt, really, can you? Maybe you change what's going on with those two. Who knows? Sell. Let's go get Akpom. Pat his wage, Robin. Conor, did you get... Listen, I said I'm open. I said I'm open to it, didn't I? I've given both sides there, Leeds. Flipping heck, man. Give me a little bit of... leeway there, mate. I've given both sides. No, you're having a laugh, Conor. I'm always having a laugh, Michelle. Don't you worry about that. Joseph as well. Joseph is there. Perkins. Yeah. Don't forget about Matteo Joseph. He's going to... Listen, there are a lot of clubs sniffing around him. I know that for a fact. Yeah, a lot of... I think there's a lot of sell here. I'm in the middle. I am in the middle. I see how it works, but I've been going on about Bamford all season, not been good enough, so... Fine, you've all bullied me. I hope you're happy. Let's go sell. A hard sell. Let's sell him. Okay, let's sell everyone. That makes me feel better. Jack Harrison, I'd keep him. Listen, I always go on about Jack Harrison not hitting that ceiling, and it does my absolute you-know-what in about him not hitting that ceiling, but I think he overall, you have to say he's developed in the Premier League. Will he ever get to that upper echelon? Who knows, but there are going to be clubs looking at Jack. There's no chance Jack's at Leeds next season. But as with Rodrigo, if you're giving me the option, I'm keeping him, of course. But it's never going to happen. He's leaving. And are there players out there who we can replace Jack with? I think it is going to be hard. You know, I always say this. I've always given him a hard time because I'm like I was in a previous life a PE teacher looking at the best football player and saying, look, you can get up here. You can get up here if you just improve this, and this about your game. I've tried to take him under my wing, even though I'm not a manager, a coach, or anything like that. And he has no idea who I am. But yeah, no, I've always thought Jack could reach better heights than what he's been at Leeds United. But when you look at his tenure at Leeds, he's been excellent, really, when you look at everything brought together. I'd keep him. He's not going to stay. So yeah, we're expecting to sell Harrison. Last two I'm going to touch on. And yeah, you guys are all saying keep. Callum, I've got rid of 15 players, mate. I've got rid of 15 players. But yeah, I think, you know, I don't know. It's a tough one. This front line's tough. Brendan Aronson, sell. Said it all along. There's no way he fits in the Championship. He'd be the one, you know, apparently is looking at his options. Never going to be good enough. Not good enough. Weak. Doesn't have... What attribute does he have? I've heard chance creation in the first 5 games. I don't care. He's not lasted. You know, he didn't even last for Jesse Marsh. You know, he did it for the first 5 games. His chance creation was all right. He's also bundled an absolute host of chances where someone like Patrick Bamford and Rodrigo could have actually profited from. His decision making is mind-boggling. Keeps hold of the ball too long. Falls over all the time. I know he's young. There's no chance he's developing in the Championship. Look at the frame on him. Look at the athleticism on him, the physicality on him, the agility, speed. There's nothing there. He can't use his left foot. Not for me. A hard sell. The biggest sell of the bunch. A lot of you guys might find that harsh, but I'm looking at a big valuation for this guy as well. 30 million when we signed him, and I think he'd be sold for a decent portion as well. There's no way, in my opinion, you keep hold of Brendan Aronson. It brings nothing to this Leeds side, and he will bring nothing. So imagine him going to Millwall away. You know, as I've said before, your Middlesbrough's away, your Ipswich is away, your Coventry's away. You know, no, Sunderland away. There's no way I know, I'm passionate about this one. I want Leeds to get some good money from Brendan Aronson. It's not worked. It's never going to work. Came from a Red Bull system. He's a good presser, but even that failed at moments because all he would do was when he was pressed and bypassed is fall over. So yeah, not for me. Yeah, never mind his left foot. He just can't use any of these feet. He's a good press. Yeah, but are we going to be that side anymore? We're not going to be a unit pressing RB side anymore, are we? You know, what's fundamentally is he good on the football? Because I'm hoping we get a possession-based manager in. You're looking at, you know, Scott Parker. That's how he likes to play. Corberan, that's how he likes to play. I know Corberan will want some presses. Of course he will. But hopefully Corberan's got standards. He just doesn't want, just a good press and that's it. Because then we might as well keep Dan James. We could have them both just running around the pitch like headless chickens. Chris Packett in the wind, says Lee. I think if Marsh gets a job somehow in Germany or Austria or wherever, he'll be bringing him along. He'll be one of his first signings, I think. So I think that's a good point. And this is what I'm thinking, Rob. Yeah, look at the impact, and they're sort of similar positions, aren't they? Really, I always thought Joffrey was a little bit of a cam anyway. I never thought he was a striker. I think that's the problem he's had at Sunderland as well. He's not an out and out number 9. If Ross Stewart had been an out and out number 9, and Joffrey had just been helping him, supplementing him a little bit, I think you'd have seen a little bit more from Joffrey. Joffrey has got, for me, abundances of more talent than Brendan Aronson, and he's got way more to his game. So yeah. Sorry guys for me, and I think there's a lot of people. Okay, Joe says Farke uses his system very much like Bielsa. He may like someone like Aronson. I would sell, by the way. Joe, good point, but I also think Farke, when he's been in his Norwich system, it's not all been about, okay, when that Norwich side came to Ellen Road and pounded us 3-1, where we couldn't touch the ball. By my recollection, behind Timu Pukki, they had Stiepermann, Buendia, and Vrancic. That season, they were untouchable. Vrancic, very much of the Pablo Hernandez mould. Buendia, obviously, in the Championship, was unbelievable for however many seasons and had so much to his game. Screamers, absolute screamers. You'd have Todd Cantwell in there as well. And as I said, Stiepermann with his set pieces. I think he scored against Leeds that game as well. But none of them were just pressers. They weren't just dogs. They would press intelligently. But they had so much more to the game. And this Joe, it's a perfect example. Players like Buendia, players like Stiepermann, players like Vrancic, players like Todd Cantwell, at the Championship level, they have more to the game. And they still proved it at Premier League level that they had more to the game than Brendan Aronson does, So for me, a lot of them had a lot of flair, a lot of when you're looking at those four in particular, the chance creations were very, very high. Brendan Aronson's not going to go down to the Championship and start tearing it up like Buendia. No chance. Or like Vrancic or Stiepermann. There's just nowhere. So that's my opinion. Good example there, though. Good example, and that made me think about that Norwich side, because that Norwich side, we can praise a lot of teams, including our own, but that team was fantastic in the Championship. But yeah, not for me, mate. Not for me. Okay, last one for the round. Cine. A man who, if he's fit for 5 more games, keeps Leeds in the Premier League. I know for a fact that he was training by himself for the majority of the season because of his injury woes and getting injured in training as well. Never was at full till. And have we mentioned Nonto? We have mentioned Nonto. Obviously, Nonto you keep, obviously, and he's under contract. Why have I missed him? Nonto keep. Yeah, sorry. Sell Cine. Luke, really? Wow, okay, injury prone. He is injury prone. He is, but if you can just imagine him in the Championship, if you can get a better training system, you can get better staff back there, if you can get an increased medical team, and Feyenoord got a good amount of games out of him. I know we got him on a cheapo price from Feyenoord because he was injury prone, but they got good numbers out of Sinisterra. If he's not a crock for the entire season, look what he did against Forest, just out of nothing. And then you look at what Willie's done against Man United, against Cardiff. I know it's Cardiff, but, these two players are players that if we could keep them in the Championship, supplemented by Rutter and a couple of other signings, and listen, I know he's going to go. But you never know. The injuries might work in our favour. Who knows? So, I would sell Melier, Rasmus, Koch, Llorente, Strauch, Firpo, Verber, not Adams, joking. Sorry, not Adams. Keep Adams, Rocker, Forshaw. We didn't mention Greenwood, did we? Greenwood. Sell Greenwood. Sell James, Costa, Rodrigo. Bamford, meh, maybe. Aronson's. There's a fair few there. I've seen a lot of people saying Ty Roberts, sell. Let's not forget this as well. Jesus Christ. Let's not forget that you'll send Brownie over the edge. We can't keep him for Brownie's sake. There's no chance. Ty Roberts, his numbers were always on the floor. He's a good player in terms of technical ability, but he just never produced for me. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. An absolute pleasure, I have to say. Thank you so much for joining. There's nearly 1,400 of you in the building. Please make sure you like the video. We've been going on for an hour and a half. I've not had my tea yet. I'm a little bit whacked, so I'm probably going to have tea and then go to bed. Just thought I'd let you all know. Before you leave, please leave a like on the video. We do have a Patreon account if you want some bonus content. We're going to be uploading some transfer bits on there in Generation Leeds and Car with Conor, which is always a laugh, and I know my Patreon members always like that one. But yeah, we're going to be uploading on this channel every single day as well. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. I've loved this. It's very subjective. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Hope you've had a bit of fun. We're going to be doing something on the manager as well, who I would go for, and it's not in the list. But so maybe we will just reverse on what I think, and we will just go for, we'll go for obviously the names that we're going on about, Farker and Corbran and co. But guys, as I say, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll be back tomorrow morning, fresh-faced, and to see all you guys again. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Keep happy and well, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.